A very young Princess Elizabeth wore these dresses as a bridesmaid when she was 3 and 4 years old. And these are matching bridesmaid dresses that Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret wore, and they were designed by the House of Lanvin, who also designed the dress of the doll. And here are some Liberty dresses that Elizabeth and Margaret wore. And here are some fancy costumes that were worn by both Margaret and Elizabeth, and the Tudor style one was made to replicate one that Elizabeth's mother wore. Wedding dress, and the rationing was still in place at the time, so they had to collect coupons for the very rare silk that was used, and then all the fabulous embroidery was all done by hand, and it took more than 4,000 hours. Leisure time at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. This is the Balmoral tartan, which only the royal family and the royal pipers are allowed to wear. Coronation dress, like the wedding dress, is done of satin, is fully embroidered with pearls, gold and silver, and diamond sparkle. It contains the Tudor rose, the Welsh leek, all embroidered, the Scottish thistle, and then it has references to the Canadian maple leaf, the silver fern of New Zealand, the Australian wattle flower, the South African protea, the lotus flower of India, the lotus flower of Ceylon, mother of pearl, and the 3 emblems of Pakistan. In this big room were lots of dresses from all her travels and all her state visits, and I think they were all beautiful. I couldn't choose one, but I tried to film them all. So the blue with lotus flowers embroidered was a historical visit to Japan, and the pink one was the first time a British monarch visited China, and Queen Elizabeth visited in 1986. And then the white one was the second visit that she made years later. Are the dresses that she wore in occasion of her jubilees, and they are very similar somehow to mark the different occasions with very recognizable hats. Luggage vanity case, and the other one is a trunk. Instead of her name, there is actually just a plaque saying the Queen. That's the baby. Quella lì sicuramente la mamma, perché sì, l'altro se ne sta fregando altamente.
No, lui è più grande.
No.
Lui è più grande.
No, ma poi se ne frega altamente.
No, era lì che mi guardava.
Oh, carine. Dove va? Oh, guarda. Ma ci passano anche sotto.
Sembra di sì.
No, il piccolino non è capace. Segui la mamma. Anche la mamma fa fatica.
Sì, non le piace mica.
Ce l'ha fatta, guarda. Ce l'ha fatta anche la mamma. Andate, andate.
Scoiattoli.
Hello, welcome back to Purls. So today was a little bit of a special day. I went to London, I went to Buckingham Palace to see the exhibition called Her Life in Style. It was about Queen Elizabeth II clothes. So starting really from her christening dress all the way up to the later years. There were lots of dresses there, beautiful, and it was a beautiful exhibition. So I went there with Petra, my friend Petra, so we made a nice day in London. Today is Friday, 12th of June. We both took a day of holiday. The weather has turned a little bit for the better, so it was very nice. So we are very happy. Now I just came back home and I decided to have a little, like a very quick chat to tell you about our day and to show you also what I bought, because when I loved going to exhibition, especially textile exhibitions, but not only, but whenever I go to an exhibition I always have to buy the book if I liked it. So I do have quite a few here. I might show you one day, but today I will show you the one that I bought today. So the big book of the exhibition, and then I bought a couple of other things because the shop had such beautiful themed, and when I see themed exhibition items I'm always like, ooh, that is so nice. It's gonna be a nice memory for this beautiful day, this beautiful exhibition, this beautiful time that I had with my friend, and doing something that was really nice, that I liked a lot, and kind of feeds my soul. That is what it is. I love exhibitions. I love this one because it was not only about the style of the late queen, but also you could see the different style of the different designers that followed her during her life, and also the different style of the different decades. So you could really see what was the style in the 50s, and then the shift that happened in the 60s, and then there's something really interesting happening in the 70s also, and then depending on the occasion. It was so beautiful, and it was explained so well. I know that this exhibition got sold out. We bought the ticket almost immediately, and the whole of May, June, July were gone. The weekends were gone. We were able to get this day. We booked it a week after it opened, so in April. And to get this ticket is because it's Friday, so it's not at the weekend. It was very busy inside. It was still okay, but yeah, you would struggle at some point to go through it. You had to queue a little bit to see certain items. There was her wedding dress, there was her coronation dress, yeah, lots of beautiful pieces. I forgot to say, my name is Laura, this is my channel, Past and Pearls, and today actually we're talking about something beautiful that I did today. So today is all about London. It's all about a nice day out. It's all about this beautiful textile exhibition that has a little bit of history in there, but usually I podcast about my knitting and crochet projects and also other making of things. I do vlog sometimes. What's happening?
There's a truck being towed away.
Oh. I do vlog. Well, last year I did Vlogtober and Vlogmas, and I do vlog when I go to workshops, or like crochet workshops, like Toft workshops, or also when I visit knitting, crochet fair, yarn fair, independent, or also the more proper craft fairs that happen in London, the very big ones. If you'd like to follow along, you might want to subscribe, and if you like this video, please maybe put a like, a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what you liked about this video. What was your favorite dress that you saw from the Queen? You will have seen my footage. I tried to take as much as I could. I took a few pictures and tried to take a few videos. It's not everything, but it's, you know, it's a combination of the pieces that made the biggest impact on me, or that were most significant, or that where actually there was space where I could film or take a picture a little bit. The thing I liked the most was that not everything was behind the glass. I think the most precious pieces, fragile, maybe the oldest ones, were behind the glass, but then there were lots of them, even lots of gowns from the 50s and 60s. They were in a big room and they were not behind the glass. Obviously you couldn't touch them, but with them not being behind the glass, you could see really the texture, the real sparkle of the embroidery, sequins, and the different texture of different fabrics. And I think it was really beautiful. It is, I was telling Petra, imagine being someone who's had sartorial clothes ever since they were little children, because there were some really teeny tiny pretty baby and children clothes like when she was 1, 2, 3 years old, and they were already like made by very important couturier designers, and you could tell the quality of everything, like the fabric, the stitching. And I think that probably that's also why I want to get to sew my own clothes eventually, because you can put a little bit of extra quality. You can be your own seamstress and feel like you're wearing something sartorial like the Queen, for example. So that's a little bit of a dream for me, but hopefully one day I'll get there. What else to say? Well, a couple of things. Actually, I saw Petra for the first time since the London Stitch Festival in March, and she brought me some yarn, like if I don't have enough. So she brought me this one, which is Flamingo, which is the grey. If you have seen my April podcast episode, you will have seen that I was making a hat for Yanni and I ran out of yarn, and she has this, which is pretty much, yes, is perfect size. It's a grey, which might go really well with what I was doing. So I think I'm gonna, tonight, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna be finishing his hat. So I might do that now. And then she also had these two chenille yarn. This is Kinko Funny Yummy, and it's a nightmare yarn. So this is chenille, however, so there's a cream and a pink, however it's well, it's like this. It's like a novelty yarn, I think. It's curly, basically. It's a curly yarn, so it has these little loops that are they're like knots, so they're little loops that are already there, and I think this is really cute. However, it makes it a little bit more complicated. So she tried to make something with it. I think she wanted to crochet with it, and she gave up. And I will be doing like a texture blanket with some other yarn also that she's given me for a baby in the family. And I thought maybe I can make some details for that. Of course, it has loops, so I will be really careful, but I mean, they are really tiny loops. So I will see how it knits up, because I will be knitting it, and it wouldn't be the whole blanket, so it might be just maybe the edges, some details, maybe a thin stripe, so something like that. But it will be a texture jumper. It will be a texture blanket, so more like a play blanket, not a blanket for making the baby sleep. So it should be fine, and this should actually make it quite fun. So I acquired some yarn without having bought it, and actually I'm quite pleased. And in exchange, I gave Petra a few of my clothes that are not fitting me anymore, and I have been selling a lot of them on Vinted, but whenever I have something that I think Petra might like, or that particularly I think it's particularly her style, or that I don't feel much like parting with, but I would be okay if I knew someone I know was wearing it. So she also got her daughter Yasmin, who will be also very happy to wear some of them. So I know that there's also continuity there. So it's either Petra or Yasmin that can wear them, and that makes me incredibly happy. And so some of the things in there were specifically for Petra, and some of them are specifically for Yasmin. Like there was a beautiful linen skirt, mini skirt from Jack Willis with lilac, beautiful linen, Jack Willis, so beautiful finish, and it was broderie anglaise, and it was such a beautiful skirt. So I think it was lilac light purple, and I know that is Yasmin's favorite color, or one of her favorite colors, so she will love it. And actually, yeah, I can't wait to see them, you know, making the most of all those items. Anyway, let's not make this too long. It's just the end of my vlog. I just wanted to show you my purchases, because I just decided I wanted I always like to get some mementos of the exhibitions that I really like. I want to keep them alive in my memory. They always are, but as I said, I always try to buy the book if it's available. So I bought the book in this case also, but let's admire this beautiful bag, tote bag. This is special from the Royal Collection Trust, and it was especially made for this exhibition. And you see here is the title. It's quite roomy. Is the title, and this is a beautiful dress that the Queen was wearing at her sister wedding, her sister Margaret. And one thing I learned there that I didn't know was that her sister Margaret's wedding was the last time when a royal got married that wasn't the Queen or the King themselves. So a member of the royal family got married, and all of the guests were required to wear a gown, so a long dress, a proper gown. After that wedding, they didn't do that anymore, so it was just wedding guest dresses, but it wasn't required to be a full gown. And that was really interesting. So there were some of the Queen's outfits when she attended other people's weddings, and some of them were so fun. They were beautiful. Anyway, so, and this, I didn't know this when I bought it, but it's fantastic because it is actually lined. I mean, this is great. It was nice. So it's canvas, but inside, I don't know if you can see, it's lined. This is a lining. I can feel the fabric has been caught here, and it's been sewed in. So I'm very pleased with it. It's beautiful, and it is lined. I'm very happy with it. So I also qualified for a free tote bag, which is the Royal Collection Trust bag, and it's just a simple bag of the Buckingham Palace. So this is a normal canvas bag. And then this is the book, which I haven't opened yet. I will open it now in front of you. So again, Royal Collection Trust, which curated this exhibition, Queen Elizabeth II, Fashion and Style. And it's a beautiful book. And now let's open it. So maybe I can show you some of the pictures. Oh, new book smell. Very nice. Ooh. Oh yes, this is how I wanted it to be. So there's basically, let me show you the story and all of the dresses big in the page. Yeah, and I love that. And actually this pink one that you see there, actually, hello Loki, you wanted to say hi. There you are, good girl. This pink one, actually, depending on where how the light is shining on it, is either pink or orange. And this is one when I said just a moment before, when I said, oh, I saw some dresses that she wore at some other people's weddings that were so fun. This is actually one that I was thinking about. This one here. It's a dress, and it has a little light coat that is like in velour, so it's kind of transparent, and I think it's beautiful. Very, very, yes, I don't know, very fun. The only thing is that the light was very dim, and I hope you can see everything well from my videos. The light was very dim, so not everything came up exactly. You couldn't see some of the colors very well. At the same time though, I can see here, of course, in the pictures, color are always a little bit, they're always brighter in the color than they are in real life, isn't it? But yeah, like, I'm so happy actually that they've done it this way. This is exactly how I would have done it. And there's a whole part with all of the sketches, which is beautiful, and the story of them, and then yeah, so it's beautiful, and I'm so happy we were able to see so many of them. There were the Queen's tartans that she wore at Balmoral. Yeah, some of the outfits were really, really incredible. These were beautiful. So this was from like a new look, right? So in the 50s, when there was that look, big skirts, so the Queen had a series of coats, velvet coats, to wear on those dresses, and those are basically my dream, and these were them. These are the coats. Some of them apparently had a fur collar that was later removed, and I think they are just amazing. Oh, and this, actually, I found this really interesting. This is an embroidered skirt that the Queen wore during, I think it was a trip to Canada, and she wore it when she was dancing, and this was all embroidered, and this was very, very particular. I spent a bit of time looking at it. Yes, so absolutely beautiful. I know they've extended it. If you are around London or are planning a trip to London, they extended it until April 2027. So if you're able to get the tickets, and then maybe plan your trip around that, because it might not necessarily be easy to get the ticket, I absolutely recommend it. If you are into textiles, or if you like fashion, if you like even history of fashion, I think it's a big piece of the history of the 20th century if you look at it from the fashion and textile perspective. So I think it's something really, really good to be seen. So this is my book. Then I bought a couple of small things. So a couple of presents and one for myself. These are, I love the boxes, by the way, look at that. These were charms, and I bought a few. So this is the one for myself, and this is again the dress, this dress here. It's the same dress that she wore at her sister's wedding, and this is a nice and lovely charm. Feels quite hefty, so yeah. Then this is for myself. Then I bought a gift for my mom, and I wanted to buy her one of the Queen's hats, and I ended up buying her the very iconic green hat that she wore very recently, actually, not long before she died, when she was wearing this very bright green, acid green dress with the matching hat. And I thought, wow, this is actually special and very iconic from the Queen. So this is the charm for my mom, and then a charm for a friend, And then this is a gift. This is another gift, and this is the Queen's iconic bag, because this is the Queen's favorite bag. Apparently she had many made like this in all the colors that she needed, and she was always carrying it with herself, even when she was at home at Buckingham Palace. So I bought the black one, classic, and that's that. That's it. So that's all I've got. It was lovely, and I'm very happy I got the things that I wanted to get, and so now I can wear the Queen's dress on my the Queen's dress on my necklace or on my bracelet, whatever. And I have the book I can go through, and I can spend a bit of lovely time tonight, tomorrow, to read through it. And yes, and I had a lovely day out with Petra. So we also went through Green Park later, so I tried to film a little bit there. There are beautiful trees there, it was so nice. And then there are lots of ducks, there are swans. We saw a heron, but we saw also one pelican. The other pelicans were hiding on the little island, and I couldn't film them. They were too far and too hidden. You could barely see a little bit of white, but there was one pelican, so I managed to film that. It wasn't particularly close, but I do hope that you can see it. Yes, this was my day. I really enjoyed filming this little vlog for you, and I do hope that you also enjoyed. Again, let me know which one was your favorite dress from the Queen, and I hope to see you very soon. Next vlog, actually it will be in 2 weeks, when I will be going to the next Puffed Crochet workshop at the Natural History Museum. It will again be on a Friday. It will be in the evening though, and I can't wait. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Bye bye.